Terrible.
My lap is full.
all
We
you
can
get.
all relate to that. Welcome to the Midday Show. I am Jeff. He is Mark Messina, and we are here to talk about hats for heat. Did I get it right?
Absolutely, you
Hats
got it.
for heat. Mark is actually supposed to be running the show, and somehow I'm still doing it. Mark, go ahead.
That was the worst drum roll we've had so far. It's like, how can you
Get a
not?
little
See, that's all you needed to
Just a
do.
little occupied.
Well, we're here over the weekend. If you're on Facebook or if you're local, if you have seen anything about this Hats for Heat, the Reader Brothers have done now for a couple of years. They just did their big event for the winter and made an absurd amount of money. So as we knew they were going to do well, and then when I saw I was kind of anxious on Sunday to see how much they made, and then I saw it and I was like, wow, they did really well. So we just kind of wanted to come in and talk about it because it's a feel-good story, and in the news there's always so much bad news, whether it's politics or things going on with teachers and kids and all this. There's so much crime, and so when we find good stories to talk about, we like to talk about them. So this is we'll just start. It kicked up a couple years ago. Vinnie, you're with the Reader Brothers. We should give a shout out to the other Reader Brothers.
You should.
Would you guys like to introduce yourselves? Would you like a chance to speak on the show you
Shut
came to talk on?
Shut up.
I've known Mark way too long, so
Okay.
I knew I wouldn't.
Let's
get
give
to
a
talk
shout out
much.
to the other Reader Brothers who don't get the
Yeah,
camera.
my brother Tim and Jimmy, and then my sister-in-law Laura is our office manager. Yeah.
So, but you make it clear you do all the work, and they
We
okay.
do all the work.
If they would carry any of the weight, then you wouldn't have to work so hard. But you
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Very
So anyway,
nice.
a couple years ago, you're out hunting, and
I
all
was.
of a sudden this starts out. So why
Yeah,
don't you give
I
us
got
the story?
like a dozen hats, a couple different styles for me and the kids and my brothers. And I happened to get out archery hunting finally because I'm busy
First
that
time
time of
off
year.
season.
And I'm like, finally get out archery hunting, and I'm wearing my lucky hat and
On
came out of the
Facebook.
woods 3 hours later, and I had a text from her. I think it was like, "What did you do?" And
Well, yeah, 'cause
Which you
he
get
said-
that text like three
I
times
know.
a week.
I got another one that said, "Are you crazy?" But I answered her first because I'm like, I don't know. I was just hunting
Well,
3
because he
hours.
said some people were like, we'd like to buy these hats, and he's like, oh, I have this idea. We could maybe, sell a handful, give somebody free oil. How cool would that be to help somebody? And I was like, oh gosh. And he's like, what? I was like, what? You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea.
So you just posted a pic. Did you shoot something? Is that why you posted, or were you just in the
No,
woods?
I was walking in,
Okay.
and for the record, it did not bring good luck.
You did not. You did not.
No.
Did you not see anything, or did you miss?
Oh.
No,
no.
no,
No
I don't
missing.
miss.
Okay.
Come on.
I was just checking.
But no, I did. I saw.
So
but-
the actual idea, because I want to backtrack, because I know very little about this. So
Uh-huh.
the actual idea itself was like on a whim.
Yes.
Like it just
100%.
kind of, you were just in the woods with the hat, and it just kind of.
That's a cool hat. Could I buy one? And he's like, well, I don't want to profit off of. That's not what the point is. It was
Okay.
just hats for advertisement and to look cool. And he said, well, maybe we could do something. If people really do want to buy these hats, maybe we could do something with it. And here we are.
So in your mind, like realistically, how many hats in the moment did you think you were gonna like? If you sold 20 hats, you would have been happy.
Oh,
Yeah,
doesn't
I
even
think
expect
that. Yeah.
when I came home, because I had 30 some requests when I came out of the woods for hats, so I ordered 100,
Okay.
They said
and
you're gonna
they
need
were
more.
gone in about a week.
yeah. He said, I said, how many did you order? He said 100. I was like,
Yeah.
100. That's it. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
And that's when the supply chain was at its worst. So that made a ton more work for us
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of people were getting a hold of me, and we had order forms and
Pages. I
writing
think
it
there's
down
like 5 or
and
6
phone
pages
numbers.
of
And,
lines of orders.
and then they finally came in, and that's why we had that event January 29th last year of 22. They finally came in. We threw it together in 5 weeks, and it raised $16,090 that day.
In one day.
So now this is what you don't understand, not being from Montour. Vinny's like the Brad Pitt of Montour.
He's the mayor.
So
He's
that's
like the
partially
mayor.
why he
Uh-huh.
thinks that 30 people said, "How do I get a hat?" What it was 30 chicks saying, "How do I get some of that?" And he misread it. And then
Echo must have deleted that if somebody sent that.
So last year, so like you said, this all comes together during hunting season. So from hunting season to January, you kind of throw this together. You're an official charity now, right? You're a
Yeah.
501c3,
Yeah, yeah.
and you
We
throw this together.
actually went through your dad.
I heard that. I heard that. So they throw it all together. Last year, you do a fundraiser, you make $16,000.
Yeah.
So now in the year, you've gotten more styles of hats, you've gotten more
Sure.
merchandise. I saw you at the I can't remember what it was called, the car show down in
Steel Wheel Show.
Steel Wheels. That's where I bought my hat down at the So
Mhm.
you've been
I
out and
remember.
about.
Yep.
Then we come full circle. You do another event this past weekend at the Loyal Sock Hotel. And tell us how that one went.
Well, last year, in that 5 weeks, God bless the basket warriors. We ended up getting 54 baskets.
For
And
last year.
For last year. And that was
2022.
in 5 weeks.
So
So
then,
that was pretty phenomenal.
we planned this. We've been working at it since the beginning of December. And, I put out, my basket warriors, if anybody could. And the baskets were unbelievable. And would we end at 114 or 15?
114.
And that's the one you buy. Like I paid, here's $20. They give you a certain number of
We had
tickets. I don't remember what it was.
25
Yeah.
tickets for $20.
And
Yep.
you just go around and you put them in the ones that you hope to win.
Yeah.
And you had 100 and what'd you say, 14 of them.
Yeah.
And they ranged from like companies sent stuff in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You got one was a TV.
55-inch
just-
TV. Yeah.
Who
And
won
then
that? Because it wasn't.
I don't
me.
even
It
remember.
wasn't me.
I
know.
was drawing tickets for 2 hours.
I was
Or if
jealous.
I did win, no one has called me yet
That's
to
true.
let me know.
Well, that would be Evan Muma. He's making the phone calls. So.
Okay.
So
I'll take it for you.
before you dive into some of these numbers, because he was telling me a little bit about it, and I was floored when he was telling me some of this. So just for people who may not know, raising the money, Readers Brothers Fuel Services, it goes towards heating. Kind of explain to people who may not know what the charity or what the service is actually going towards.
Well, we have a home heating oil delivery service. We deliver gasoline on road, off road diesel as well. But with the price increase in oil, everybody could use a little help. So what we do is we sell the hats.
And now shirts.
100% of the profit we just put in an account, and then when somebody comes across with a heartwarming or story like that, we just go fill it up and market paid hats for heat.
And then we make deliveries. That's my favorite part. We take the receipt to them and we say, "Hey, this is paid
Yeah,
for by
we
the
try to
community,"
surprise a lot of
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
which is super cool. It's the best
Yeah.
part of the
So
whole
it's
thing.
literally directly heating homes, which is
100%.
probably the coolest part about it, because there's
100%.
so many charities where you don't,
Oh,
where does
yeah.
the money go? What happens to it? Does
Yes.
it actually reach people
Yes.
that are? And so for this, it is literally
100%
directly
of
heating.
every dollar.
Really, really.
Yep.
And because you guys, how long have you had the business?
Since July '98 will be 25-year anniversary.
So you have your recurring customers, and sometimes you can tell the people who they used to order, they're not really ordering anymore.
Yeah.
And you kind of get an inkling of.
We do a little vetting because the list is so long.
Right.
I mean, I'll get a call or who we've been helping is, and some of them are off a whim. The first one was off a whim, and actually so was the last one. I worked on the last furnace, got them going, and they were telling me about their little son there.
Cutest little thing.
Yeah, his
He's
name's
so
Wyatt.
adorable.
And he's little over 3, and he's had 5 surgeries already.
He needs more.
Needs more. He had a feeding tube. He was in the hospital for 34 days.
They never expected him to be able to eat or walk on his own.
Yeah,
It's
and
pretty
now
severe.
he's walking a little bit, eating a little bit, and he still has to go through one more surgery.
And they just found out he was diabetes type 1. He was.
So all the traveling,
So
the
it's
gas,
massive.
the
All
off
at
work.
once.
And
there's
that's where the money was going. Yeah.
Well, when I heard they were actually talking,
Okay.
I told them they have to get 100 gallons because that was kind of a little bit of a problem with the furnace. And I could hear them talking about I didn't tell them that day, but as I overheard them, when I finished up, I'm like, well, you're getting a free 100 gallons.
So remember this: when the guy's there to fix your furnace,
It's
he's
talking
listening.
about the hard
He's
things.
some of the numbers, some of the things, just kind of, you started prepping at the beginning of December, go ahead, take off.
We just started prepping up, getting our orders in earlier this year. We added apparel, 2 different designs,
This is
t-shirts and sweatshirts, and we plan on expanding that. But we get everything locally. Like my hats, like I buy them from Spectrum, Scott Gundrum, and then I have 2310, which God bless them, that car just went through it.
Wrecked their building.
They put the patches on and do the embroidering, all that fun stuff. My shirts go through the print shop, Jason and Tiffany Chopik.
They made these ones. They came up with our logo.
And then I have Aaron and Wendy Barnes of A&W print and do my other ones. So
The Reed
everything's
Brothers ones.
local, and it just comes full circle. So we got all that ordered. We started gathering baskets, setting things up, and the hotel is small. So we were trying to brainstorm because I was like, we are not going to fit all these baskets anyway. I mean, my house, it was like Order Express. Fire codes probably would have, I had a walking path. But anyway, he did an awesome job. He had 2 30-foot tents heated, and we just put it all together, got the raffle tickets. We actually, last year, we sold $6,400 in raffle tickets. And
Towards the baskets.
she's a lot faster at me at ripping tickets, pre-ripping.
I've had a lot more.
It is an
practice.
art.
That may be, it
Ripping
may be on
tickets is a
purpose.
skill.
It may be on
it's kinda
purpose.
tough.
But we pre-ripped 10,300. I said, that's good.
That will be plenty. Yeah, we exceeded what we did last year.
But we started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and at 10:10 we were out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were ripping in
just
the back.
for the
We had kids
baskets.
Ripping all over. It was crazy.
So that tells you the
The
community
Baylors
and their
helped us out back.
baskets.
It was so
Well, I tell you,
incredible.
as
Incredible.
well, one thing about a fundraiser that goes all day, it's convenient because you don't have to plan your day around it. I was like, well, I can get there whenever I get there. And it was middle of the afternoon, and I thought, what's going to be crazy at night? So I'm going to go now because I was there from like 5 to 6:30, and I was like, so this will be a lull, and I'll be able to get in and I'll be able to get out there. And it was packed. It was packed when I was there,
day.
and that's what everyone says. It was packed all day.
There was a no lull.
Not at all. The smallest line was from the corner where we had the table set up back to like the men's bathroom, but most of the day it was outside and wrapped around the building.
I mean, you had parking down at the elementary school with a shuttle.
Yeah, thank God the Montoursville School Board passed. We were allowed to park there.
In the Alexander dealerships.
In the Alexanders,
Got us a shuttle.
had a shuttle and running up and back, so that was convenient.
I'm not even sure how that went. We were inside all day busy, so I have no idea.
I didn't even see the school.
No
so I don't
idea.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. So after the day, so you knew you were doing way better than you expected on Saturday.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
When you were done Saturday night, did you have a guess as to what you were going to make?
I was thinking we'd make maybe 45.
Okay.
My goal was 30.
When he had his initial news interview, he said, let's do 30. Let's
If
get
you
around
made 30, it would almost double last year because 16's a heck of a year.
It was-
Yeah.
16's a great number.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I thought if it doubled with the price of fuel being about doubled,
Right.
we'd be able to help out the same amount. But after I saw how busy, I was thinking 40 some. And then me and her sat down and counted, and I wasn't thinking ahead. I was just saying 1,000. And we got that all together. And I walked away and I came back and she said, "You're not going to believe this. It's $66,347.
Yeah.
And
It's enough to bring,
I don't even think
tears
I
to your eyes.
answered her.
It's amazing.
I just stood there and
Beautiful.
I'm like, oh my Lord.
What makes it so funny is like, you're just, as we talk about shop local and shop now, you're just a local family owned business.
Mhm.
And the whole thing's not even a year and a half old.
Yeah.
And it came to you because you had a hat on and you posted it on Instagram. And you're so sexy.
That's
that
what I was gonna
it
say.
just
Look
went
at him,
crazy.
Hey, I did
And-
land this lady, but
and
her
so-
eyes are terrible.
I wear my glasses all day.
And it was such a, like, there are things that you can tell that there are businesses that are like, oh, we're a big business and we have to do something. We need to give back because,
Right.
and this just is like it came so organically and philanthropically, and like, hey, if I can sell some hats and raise some money, we can help some people. Let's do it. And 18 months later, not even 18 months later, you've raised almost $100,000.
Yeah.
In total,
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, mind blowing.
I still don't get it.
And because
I really don't. I don't get it.
It does. I mean, when I said 66,000, that's like where and I just told you before we went on, I figured because you are an official charity. If someone
Mhm.
wants to make a donation, they can
Mhm.
make a donation. That's for heat and it's tax deductible.
Yep.
I thought somebody was really impressed and wrote you a $25,000 check.
No.
And but I saw the baskets and I know it was busy and
They
I
were
saw the
phenomenal
like,
baskets,
there's a lot of money coming in, but $66,000 is just unbelievable. And the timing in society when costs are going up so much.
Mhm.
And we've always heard, even back when things were way cheaper when we were younger, they're already younger, but back when we were younger, that you've always heard the people that got to the point where they're choosing between medicine and they're choosing between oil and, people heating, as you said, now with space heaters and leaving the oven open and all these ways that people get around it. And so the story you told about the kid with surgery is things that we've always heard about, and people have to make choices.
It's real life,
and they
stuff,
don't want to have to. They shouldn't have to choose between, can we heat our house?
Right.
Couldn't agree more.
So that it's just such a crazy story of how it came together and how wonderful it is, and how supportive the community has been.
Oh, the community is phenomenal. I don't know it. Like you said, it's funny. You hear these stories, all these really bad people and all this really bad stuff happening, and then you have something like this, and it's really heartwarming. It's incredible.
I've said to a couple people, if you want to see how bad the world is, watch the news. And if you want to see how many good people there are, start a charity. And there's so many of us.
Yeah, I think we're even surprised.
Now, and you wouldn't know, like the Reeder Brothers in Montoursville is if people say, I've never heard of the Reeder Brothers, but I've heard of Reeder's Pond, then there's that would for 2 decades, the cultural center of Montoursville was Reeder's Pond.
It was. There was a lot of people there.
There was a lot of people. So, I mean, it goes, and Vinnie has been, in the full circle of it. You were on the Little League board for years. You were on the Pop Warner or whatever. What's it called now? Youth football for years.
Football now,
So, you've been very active in the community.
Sure.
And there is, I like to think I'm a nice guy. Like, I don't know of anyone that doesn't like Vinnie Reeder. So, he is like as she said, he's the mayor. He is the nicest guy in town.
When we first started this, he's like, I don't know what you mean. What do I mean by what am I starting? I was like, you're Vinnie Reeder. And he laughs at me. And I'm like, you don't understand. You're Vinnie Reeder. Like, it means something.
That carries some weight.
It does.
Like, he is
Reeder.
Nobody doesn't like Vinnie. Did I double negative that? I did it for emphasis. Everybody likes Vinnie, but nobody doesn't like Vinnie. So and so it doesn't surprise me. And again, just a local family. And there are 10,000 readers in Montoursville. They're all over the place.
Yeah, we stay within like a 60-mile radius, and most of us are boys. So,
so it just keeps
keeps growing.
But it is such a neat story, and just how it started and where it got to, and in such a short time that you raised $66,000 this weekend. It was,
I don't know if I really. I mean, without her, I don't know.
If you'd have been able to count that high? Oh, is that? I'm sorry. I didn't know that's where you're going. I'm sorry.
That is a guarantee. I usually count twice. But I don't know if it'd be where it is, to be honest, because like she just said, you're Vinnie Reeder.
You are.
I guessed on helping a few people, because people like the hats.
So people believe in you and they believe in what you're doing and they can see it.
Yeah, she kept saying that. And I'm like, well, then let's just order more hats. And if we eat it,
we eat it.
Let's just keep
get some more
and we'll
hats.
advertise, and then here we are.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's awesome. Like I said, he came in and was telling me the story, and I was blown away. So essentially,
no. First, I said I got an idea, and he's like, "Shut up." I don't want your idea.
so
and then I was like, "No, this is
rightfully
a good one.
So."
So essentially, hats, shirts.
Mm-hmm.
There's the event with the baskets.
Yes.
Now, I'm assuming you guys are you can buy the hats at any time.
Yes.
You can buy the shirts at any time.
Yeah, we do have another thing still running. Shaler's Ponds and Patios donated a 6-foot pondless waterfall, which is phenomenal, stunning. It has trees and mulch and perennials and shrubs, and it's absolutely gorgeous. $6,500 donation, and we are still auctioning that off. Same idea with the basket raffles but more like a gun raffle, $25 a ticket. And then on Super Bowl Sunday before about 5 o'clock, we're going to do a live drawing and draw that to see who wins that.
On my
Home-
Facebook page,
That's
Vince
what I was
Reader.
gonna
Yes.
ask. So are you guys using the Facebook page then as kind of like the home base
Yes.
for all of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Currently.
Yeah, because me and Tech, she fixes my Facebook. So people ask me if I have a website, and I'm like, I have no idea.
I'll get
That's
to it.
that's
Yeah.
her.
What is funny? 'cause
She's the
that's how this stuff
secretary
happens
treasurer.
sometimes.
She's, yeah.
And
it happens
grows
so quick.
faster than you expect it, and then you
Exactly.
got
Oh
to catch
yes.
up.
Yes.
And it's something, and especially with charity fundraising, I would
Mhm.
rather catch up because the
Yes.
money is coming too fast
Absolutely.
than
Then,
have it
yes.
late. I mean,
Yes.
it's a good
Yeah,
problem. to
We're
have.
100% not prepared, but it's beautiful that
Yes.
we haven't had the time to be.
Yeah.
So-
really good problem.
So certainly next winter you're going to have another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have that one every year with the baskets. But we're gonna have a bunch of satellite stuff going on.
We've been
Um,
approached a bunch of times by a bunch of different people. So,
Yeah, the VFWs want to kind of get together, and we'll hit one of them up, or each one of them up. And we kind of brainstormed, and I met with them, and we're going to give it to like a veteran that goes to their place.
yeah, so their choice. We want
They know
these
who
people.
needs it
Yeah.
the most.
Right.
So we're going to hit that up, and then we're talking to Jalinda Chamberlain
At State Farm.
at State Farm Insurance over in Southside, and
No, she's not in Southside. She's like Coming
oh.
Creek Road, Williamsport.
oh yes, like see, that's why I
What-
had
that's
her.
why. That's why.
You gotta keep them straight. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So have you guys had, because diving into kind of, it's one thing to say we're going to sell hats and all of a sudden
Yes.
people show up. Now that like the money is here and you're able to do good deeds, have you guys started like, I don't want to call it like strategizing, but like, how do you find the people who need it? Obviously being in the business here, it helps with that. Like
Sure.
you said, like you walk in somewhere and you can kind of get an inkling of they may need assistance or may not. Have people reached out as far as how to help with that? Like, how do you, because this is something I'm sure a year and a half ago, like
Yeah.
the idea of having to find places now to use the money
Right.
is so far down the spectrum of like,
It absolutely is.
yeah. So have you, I know I'm asking an open-ended question, but
Yeah.
have people reached out? Have you guys had discussions of how to do that?
A lot of people have called our office, and on our recording, I believe it says hats for heat information with my phone number.
Yeah, the office doesn't handle hats for heat. That's
Yeah.
Okay.
That's, don't
Yeah.
point at me.
well,
That's us.
it's his information, but I help.
But anyway, they can call my cell phone. Can I say my number on
Sure.
Yeah.
570-506-6781. And then my email is just Vince Reeder, VinceReeder @gmail.com. And
And if
If
you
you
call him and
email
you
me-
don't get him, leave him a message because he is busy.
I'm usually in basements with oil all over.
or no service. Or
This is as clean as I
I was,
get.
you know, it's funny.
I even
'cause
cleaned up for you.
I
You were
even thought
surprised,
about.
weren't you?
I said if he comes in at noon, I was like, gosh, is he gonna have? He's gonna have to go home and shower. Is he gonna have to take a morning?
I
off?
would
Like,
never
what-
be able to sit on this couch, or you guys would
So
smell
did you not
fuel
go?
oil.
Have you not worked on a furnace yet, or did you go?
Oh,
in
I did.
And
Did
you
get a
went
service
to work
call.
and came back.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what I figured.
Yeah.
It's like he's gonna have to go out in the morning and get back because noon's just a bad time for you. But
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. There's no lunch hours in the no heat business, I guess.
I
Yeah.
can imagine. And I'm guessing you're a little bit busy in January.
Yeah.
just a tad.
But yeah, we're going to do these satellite things. But back to Jalinda, she reached out to me, and
Heart of
they're
gold.
thinking
She's
about,
amazing.
she is an amazing person, but renting out Bald Bird Brewery and having a hats for heat up there. You know, we didn't set any date, but
Yeah,
we were
there's
thinking
just
like
tentative.
September,
Mhm.
Okay.
you know, the start of the winter. And
Like a kickoff. She said.
she
kickoff to
said
winter.
State Farm
Mhm.
would match whatever we raised that day,
Which is
which
phenomenal.
God bless
Can
them.
you imagine?
Well, she
Oh, yeah.
she said that before she saw the 66.
You know what? She did.
Now she's like, wait a minute.
We'll have to double check.
Wait
on
a
that.
minute.
And we didn't even record it.
No, but now we have.
Now we have it.
Now
We
you
have
have.
Hi, Jalinda.
We will back you up.
And her regional manager is on the phone right now going, what'd you say?
Yeah. Did he sign anything?
You promised them what?
It's so true. It's an awesome story.
It is a really
It's-
neat story.
Yeah.
It's such a neat story, and it's so early. I mean, that's the.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure you guys get giddy and excited about just the possibility, just based off of 18 months. So it's
I do.
It's so cool.
It's awesome.
Somebody just said, was that last night or the night before? somebody messaged me and said I'm going to be out to meet David Muir
Oh, yeah. He said we
on
had a plan.
ABC Nightly News.
He made a joke. He said,
And
we're
I
gonna be
said
on
they'd
Good
better
Morning
have a
America one
makeup
day,
room. You
you
guys
know.
didn't do
We
that.
do not
for
have
me.
a.
Yeah,
You
where
don't
is
need
the
a
makeup
makeup
room?
room. Listen, if you get to meet David Muir, my mother will go with you because he is like number one on her list.
Oh.
She is more than welcome.
She thinks he is the greatest. He is the cat's meow to Ellie Messina. Let me tell you, she watches him every night.
No, but it's just funny people think that way. But when
But
they
it's not without
when I put on
possibility.
there about we had that blank check on Facebook.
Right.
Said just guess the amount. I just wanted to have fun with it. I didn't even have a prize in mind. I just thought
Right.
people would guess, and I laughed when people said 50,000 or
Right.
you know. I actually laughed about it, and then I'm like,
Oh my
well, we
gosh,
do have
yeah.
to come up with something. So we
Yeah.
gave some money out to the winner.
My sister.
Her
you know,
sister won.
I was like,
She
great.
guessed 66,210,
210.
and it was days before the
Yes.
event.
Yeah.
Right.
I said that doesn't
Um,
look suspicious at all.
yeah.
you know.
But yeah, her sister guessed that, and we were 66,347.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's unbelievable.
That is that one.
I know.
And here-
I believed you until now, and now I'm
Yeah.
like
Now you know,
this
yeah.
now just doesn't sound real anymore.
Well, yeah, and just to show how big time we are, because I don't know if you know that we're almost Emmy nominated.
Soon to be now.
Soon to
I
be
did see
Emmy
that down
nominated.
here on
Yes,
the
we're
scroll
close.
right
We're on
there.
our way.
That's
We're on our way.
awesome.
And
Well
they're leaving
deserved.
here, and then they're going to go do an interview with WNEP.
Yes.
Because they
Yeah.
called, because once they saw it through Facebook and the power of the internet, they're like, hey, that's a good story. But we were here first.
We were.
You were.
First one in wins, just like in golf.
Yeah,
So-
you got it.
We should do a midday show from one of the events.
Oh, you could do
We could.
that.
That
That would
we
be
couldn't have
great.
done it the other day.
It
Oh,
was
you would have had
packed.
nowhere to set
It
up.
was
packed.
like a frat party. It
Yeah.
was.
It really
It
was.
because when I got in, I pushed my way through, and this is just because it's outside of Montoursville. I just dropped my son off at home, and I was like, well, I'm not going to call anyone to go. What are the odds that I don't know anyone when
Yeah.
you're there? There's going to be. So I walked in, I pushed my way through, and I got to the other side, and I was talking to some people that I knew, and then I was like, so where are the back? Like, where is everything? And they're like, it's back over there. And I looked, and I just saw
The
this crowd of people,
people.
and they're like, good luck. And I said, well, do you want to go first and clear a path?
Uh-huh.
And then, it didn't actually take that long. But you
Yeah.
easily way through, and it was all over. They had the 50-50, and and you just made one big loop
Mhm.
around. And, but again, I thought that I was being intelligent, and I would go during a lull because I figured early in the day, I figured
had
like
the
around
breakfast.
lunch it would be packed.
Yeah.
And then in the afternoon it would kind of slow, and then at nighttime again when people go out on
Yeah.
Saturday night it
Yeah.
would pick up again. I was like, I'll go at 5 o'clock and it'll be quiet.
And
It
and,
was-
and you
there
know what?
was-
So many people had. I mean, I totally get your thought process. You think of it like as a restaurant, lunch and supper.
Yep.
If I go in between,
Sure.
and
And we did have the breakfast, and people were like, "Well, we'll just come early for breakfast."
Yeah.
It's like you're
We'll
about
be-
to
we'll be in and out of
10%
there.
for today. Say
Yeah.
that.
and there was hundreds in there
Yes.
for breakfast.
When we got in there, there were people waiting for us.
We
before it
actually made the
opened.
mistake because they were sitting in their cars thinking that they'd unlock the door at 9, and we showed up way early, and they saw me open the door. All
And
the
they
cars
followed you
shut
right
up.
in.
Waiting for us.
I couldn't even sit down. They rounded the corner and they're like, "Can we get tickets?" And I'm like, "Oh,
We were like,
yeah.
let me
"Just
take a
minute."
breath here."
Yeah.
Before we let you guys go be big celebrities,
Where they have a
Yeah.
makeup room. That's
Will
it.
you-
Vinny.
they
Vinny
do.
needs. He's gonna
Yeah.
walk in and say, "Where's my makeup girl?" That's what he's
I'm
gonna
gonna do the same thing I did to you. Yeah,
say.
and I want
But he
my
does want
green.
the M&Ms.
Yeah, I
my
went to
green
green
M&Ms.
M&Ms only.
Um,
Yep.
anything that you want to plug, if you want to just throw out the Facebook page again, mention you still have one more raffle going. Go ahead and plug away. You
That
guys
is
have
mention
earned
that
it.
again. That is cool.
Yes.
$25 and you get a pondless fountain,
Well, so
or
yes,
you could win a
yes,
chance to win.
Yes, $25 is one ticket, and it's a 6-foot pondless waterfall, which is if you look up.
So the
Shaler's-
water just disappears.
Yeah, it
and
cycles
comes
back
back.
through.
Right.
Shaler's Ponds and Patios, beautiful work there. Everything they have is phenomenal. And they donated that. So we're going to do that drawing on Super Bowl Sunday at 5 on Vince Reader's Facebook. But yeah, $25 gets you a chance to win.
And Chad and Shannon Shaler, they said they wanted to make a donation. And this is the kind of people they are. He said that when I went up and met him, he said, I wanted to donate like $500 of free lawn mowing. And he said, I thought about it. And he's like, I don't want to step on somebody's toes, you know, that already has that account. He said, so I want to give you
a phenomenal, mind-blowing,
$6,500.
prize.
And I'm like,
It's gorgeous.
I was speechless.
Because he's thinking, then I just took $500 away from some other
that's where
business, and
their
I don't
hearts
wanna
are.
do that.
Yeah.
And obviously that's why he donated that. You got to have a heart to do such things. But he didn't want to take $500 away from somebody else.
That was
So Chad and Shannon are just amazing people.
Yeah. So there's that chance to win still. You can get a hold of us on Facebook. You can reach out to either one of us. We have the tickets. They also sell them. They're at that's your Creekside, Melito's on Broad Street, Loyalsock Hotel, Johnson's Cafe,
Post 104 on Broad Street, both Risses, Muncie and Montoursville. Where else did I go?
I used to say I don't
Blaze
remember.
Alexander Subaru in the service department there. So if you're going to pay a big bill at Blazes, you might as well win a $6,500.
Yeah,
you might as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then one last time, just to clarify,
Mentor Beverage is another one.
Mentor Beverage. If people are looking for this, Vince Reader on Facebook is the place to be able to locate it, find it. Okay, just want to make sure for everybody to know.
Yes, and we put Vinny because who is Vince Reader?
You know what? I wasn't Vinny till I was 18. That's the problem. You think it'd be the other way around. It would be the other way
around. You'd be little Vinny, and then you'd grow out of it.
So I actually, when I think I got Facebook maybe 3 years ago, I'm like, I don't know where to put Vinny or Vince, or should I put Vinny/Vince? Or I had no idea what to do. I don't know who
Vince
I am.
Reader is.
I know.
I don't know who that guy is, but I know who Vinny.
Maybe I'll change it so it helps you out.
You should. Well, I catch up. It just takes me a little bit. So it's such a neat story because it was so accidental and organic, and there was no ulterior motive, and you just wanted to raise a little bit, help a couple people, and you ended up raising a boatload, and now you can help a boatload of people.
Yeah, and we've when I was sitting here, that phone rang. It was another request.
And you can nominate people. We love to hear the stories. We just want to hear, who they are, where they, like what brings them to this, and we want to be able to help. I don't know. It's really cool to hear someone. Our first person, Diane, she, her mom was sick and she had lost her job, but wasn't able to work because she was taking care of her mom. And he actually had a service call. It was like 1:30 in the morning, and she was crying because he came to help her. She was so grateful. And she's like, I don't know how I'm going to afford it. And he's like, I got our first person.
Right.
And she is just,
I didn't tell her that.
No, he told me, but she's just this wonderful ball of sunshine, and she's really helped us through. She's gotten a hold of the radio stations, and she has given back way more than she ever received from us. But it's just stuff like that. You hear everyday people. So we want to hear the stories. We want to hear about who needs it and why they need it and how we can help.
Well, and you do hear those stories. I mean, we've got to a point in society where it seemed like there's people didn't want to work. But you have, because they're taking care of someone who's sick, like you said, with a 3-year-old or with a parent, or that they can't work for some reason. I mean, we've seen people who have to take 4 treatments, like sometimes people, whether they're in chemo and they have to go to Hopkins or whatever, that people who just can't work because they're too busy being a caretaker.
Absolutely.
And those stories are prevalent.
So,
absolutely.
Yes, they're all over. So
we
just want to hear them.
We had a Vietnam vet up in Jersey Shore. That happened by email. His sister lives in Harrisburg, and she got a hold of me and said she had a brother up in Jersey Shore. He's a retired Vietnam vet. They had someone check on him every couple days or whatever, and she walked in, and he was laying on the floor with 2 space heaters close to him. He was out of oil, and
Had
of
no
course,
means to get it.
Veterans are too proud to ask anybody for help. He said he is fine. But he was out of oil and didn't have means to get it. So I said, we're going to be there. We'll fill him up. And unbeknownst to us, we went up and he had 2 tanks. So we just kept the nozzle open, and he got a couple $1,000s worth of free oil, and he's good for the winter now. So that's kind of where it's going.
It is. It's a great cause and great stories. And it really is. In this world of so much bad, there is lots of good, and it's not as splashy. It doesn't get the clicks, you know, and you see that, someone held up a Unimart. You're like, oh, where was
Oh,
that?
what
And
is that?
everyone
Yeah.
clicks on
Do I
that
know
because it's
somebody?
exciting.
Yeah.
And sometimes the feel-good stories aren't as exciting, but you guys have certainly done a wonderful thing. Even if you just kind of stumbled into it by accident, you've taken it and ran with it.
And we couldn't have done it without the community, without everybody, the support in the community. And there's absolutely no way that we would be where we are without that.
$66,000.
It's insane.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was definitely a stumble too. There was no.
Yeah,
there's
we
no
kind of ran,
long-term plan.
Yeah.
you know.
It wasn't like I sat home and calculated.
I don't believe
anything.
that. Vinny has
Yes, you do.
He has life all figured out.
No, you've known me way too long. You know you're lying there.
So I got it. Were your kids there voluntarily or were they forced? Because
No,
They
wanted to be there.
voluntarily.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
They're
God
very
love
excited
'em.
about it. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting older. Your kids are my kids' age.
Yeah.
They're kind of almost through that age where dad's an idiot and doesn't know anything. And
Yeah,
they get to the
I
point
definitely
where
was
then
there.
as they get a little older out of high school, they're like, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter is still in high
She's
school,
a senior.
so I'm still an idiot.
So yeah.
No, she
She says she loves me.
she does love
but
you.
she shakes her head a lot and goes
Well, I mean, so do I.
when I say stuff.
It took I have a daughter who's a freshman. She's a Vassar. She watches this a lot. I think it took her to get away to college and meet and hear stories about other people's parents.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, maybe my mom and dad aren't so bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you get to that point where you aspire to be not so bad.
Not so bad.
And
yeah.
I'm thrilled
You'll
to
take that.
be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure I'm there, but it sounds like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
there.
You're a
Well,
little
that's
closer
good.
right
Now I pick her up. She gives me a hug.
Yeah,
Which
there you
before I
go.
was like, wow, this is
Yeah.
I used to have to ask for these.
Yes.
Now you almost look like you're happy to see me.
No, and I think they think I'm pretty cool because
Mhm.
they were both shocked at all the people that came. And I said, well, it's my birthday.
Yeah,
That's
they're
the
all
only
here for
reason
him,
everybody
yeah.
Was it
came.
your birthday?
It
Yeah.
was his birthday.
I
Oh,
said,
I
that's
didn't
the
know
only
that.
reason everybody's
It's your
here.
birthday party.
Yeah.
There
his
you
birthday
go.
Party. He said he couldn't think of a better
There
birthday
you
present.
go.
Oh, that was the best present.
What did they
I ever
get you
got.
now? What did your daughter get you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
She showed up to help.
She did.
Well, you can't wrap that.
Yeah. My son got me.
Natalie.
Yeah.
Natalie. We
My
will talk.
My son got me a Hank Williams Jr. shirt,
Mhm.
and he's my favorite of all time. And
Not
I,
this
Your
Hank
son.
Williams
You're
Jr.
obviously.
yeah,
Who's your favorite kid? Obviously, the
Oh.
one that got you something.
yep.
I mean,
He's
that's
currently
not
on top.
hard.
He's currently on top.
That is not
But
hard.
she got me. I've always wanted to see him. I had a '79 Chevy as my first
Country
truck,
boy.
and it had a bug deflector. You know, the ones that went straight up. And it had like that chrome plastic around it, and it had Country Boy on it for Country Boy Can Survive. I'm now 46, and she got me tickets to go see him.
That was his birthday present.
Yeah, from Echo.
Where's he
And-
playing?
Down out west of Pittsburgh, right?
Mhm.
Kind of on the
How old
Ohio
is he?
line. I don't know how old he is, actually.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I didn't know he was still playing.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he does it on a
Much.
regular. Yeah, I don't
Yeah, I
think
know,
he
he's
like
still going
tours
out.
every year. But
There you
my
go.
son knew about it, so
We were looking for shirts.
He's
when
going.
We do something.
He's
yeah,
going
Gage is
with
coming
us.
with us. But we
and
always
it's his
get
favorite.
shirts for what we're doing.
There
So
you
Vin's
go,
been
that's
looking for
cool.
shirts
Yeah.
for this concert, and he was like, "Hey, you bought this shirt, and that's the one I really want." And Gage was like, "Great." So he, a couple days before the event, brought this shirt out, and he's like, "Here, don't buy one."
When is that? In the spring?
in
What's the
June.
date?
In June.
Yeah,
exactly.
June 10th.
I just asked Jeff before the show. I said, "Do you want to go to Mohegan Sun and see Rat?" And he said, "Who?"
I would go see Rat.
There you go.
These
Uh-huh.
kids. These kids.
They're too young.
nowadays, He doesn't get it. He
Uh-huh.
doesn't get it. He's all excited about Fallout Boy.
I am.
Uh,
They just announced their tour.
I actually like some of her songs, but
So,
I'd pick Rat.
I don't know. Amen. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
go ahead, wrap us out.
That's it. Well, thank you to Vinnie and Echo for coming in. And again, Hats for Heat. If you can Facebook it, you can kind of Google it. It is official 501c3 charity. So any donation you would make to it is tax deductible, and 100% of the proceeds, not the proceeds, 100% of the profits
Mm-hmm.
go towards helping people that are just struggling to fill their oil tank in the winter. And I know we're into February now, so we're getting there. But it's still February through March. It's going to be cold. February is always cold, and then March is kind of 60% cold. So we're certainly not out of the the winner yet. So any donations that you would like to make, or you can purchase hats and sweatshirts and T-shirts and all this stuff. And again, it all stays locally and helps local people who are struggling.
Really awesome, guys.
Thank
This
you.
was really, really great. We appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
And now they step down to NEP. They start with us, and then they're going down.
We like WNEP. We're not trying to start anything. Thank you guys for watching the Midday Show. I'm Jeff. He is Mark. We will see you guys on Friday.